This is the time to stand up now. We can't carry on like this.
Do not fear them.
This is the time to stand up now. We can't carry on like this.
Very, very good morning. Sunday the 15th of January. I've been playing about with my cameras, I'm afraid, so if the things are all wonky and not quite there, it's because I've just been messing around with old equipment and new equipment and finding things that will work. So that's what I am up to. Unfortunately, we didn't get the shares, so I'm just not going to share. I'm not going to share work that will value opposition parties. Straightforward as that. So we didn't get anywhere near the 100 shares, I'm afraid. So it is what it is. So that's what we're up to. I will try and share this information perhaps in a different way via my website and a link that way, but we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Looking forward to this evening's transmission. We've got Mark Hince coming on, the Sean Crompton Independent. He's got a party now, hasn't he? A Sean Crompton Independent Party, I think it's called. He's coming on this evening, wants to talk about the 3 years he's been bravely standing as a candidate and how he came close last time and what he thinks he needs to do and will be doing this time to get over the line in both Shaw and Crompton. He's got a party. I think he's got 3 candidates so far and he's looking for more. So we're going to have him on this evening. As for the rest of today, I have more. I mean, this is a point, isn't it? If these YouTube videos weren't causing them damage, they wouldn't be going to all of the trouble constantly, repeatedly. And this is a concerted effort now. So it's clearly coming from within the, those who have access to power, shall we say. So this concerted effort of taking down transmissions clearly means that they're having an impact and they want to shut us down. And unfortunately, if we don't get the shares, because that's the only way we have reach, isn't it? This isn't me on some ego trip. The only way we get the reach of the content is via sharing the posts on Facebook, on YouTube, however it is. And for those people who contribute financially, brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Still don't earn minimum wage, but it's enough. Thank you very, very much. And then for the rest of you who take value from these transmissions and don't share, don't like, don't share, I mean, you've got no chance. Come May, the Labour Party will walk it in all but Failsworth, perhaps. And that's it. That's it. So, indeed, Tony, I think that's a very apt on a Sunday morning. The axis of evil. So it's very, very apt on a Sunday morning to describe him as such. And I've been looking at the What Do They Know page. Have you guys had a look at the What Do They Know page since the transmission last week? I want to show you something whilst I'm here. I want to try and show you something. And whilst we're all here having a Sunday morning coffee, perhaps, or a tea. Second, let me get this working. I'm going to have to buy a new wire, I think, at this rate. Here we go. So I think some of this I find really interesting, and I'll go through it with you. So what we've got, remember Sense Stats was the last one we had up there, yeah? And straight away, we've got a whole host of questions regarding information requests with regards to the data breach by Councillor Howard Sykes in December 2021. That was sent by Pauline Cooper. Do you see how specific that title is? That's really, really good, Pauline. Really specific title. Information request with regards to the data breach by Councillor Howard Sykes in December 2021. So she's put that in. Information relating to a data breach by Councillor Howard Sykes by someone called Amanda. Now, I'm not sure who Amanda is, but my thoughts always are you should use your full name. You should always use your full name. Information on the data breach of Oldham MBC policies and procedures by Councillor Howard Sykes by Lee Cook. Brilliant. Again, do you see how very specific that question is? You know, that request is. Sense Stats. Nah, neither here nor there. Don't know who that is. This is a lovely one. This is a lovely one by Gary Tarbuck. Relationship between Oldham Council and Neil Wilby. Lovely title there. Denise Leach has put one in. FOI request for leaked data details that led to opposition leader turning up at the victim address in the Christmas holidays 2021. It's all right. Adds to it. Adds flavour to it, I think, as they say. Yeah. Information in connection with a data breach by Councillor Howard Sykes. Very specific and to the point by Tony Martin there. This is a lovely one. Councillors passing on names and addresses to convicted malicious bloggers. You can say it's been reported for administrator attention. Oh dear. It was from Julie Hayward. Now the problem is, Julie, and I'm laughing because you've done brilliantly there with it, because someone's clearly seen the arse. You know, bullies. It's what I've always said about bullies. Malicious blogger bullies. They can't take it. They like to give it, but they can't take it. That's always been the case with malicious bloggers and vermin. Vermin can take it, can't take it. All they can do is give it. So the thing is, you've not named him in the Freedom of Information request. And I've looked at this, and this is a lovely Freedom of Information request. Have a look at this one. Let's have a look at this one. This request has been reported as needing administrator attention. The worst that the administrator could do, by the way, Julie, is change your heading. But seeing as though you've not named the malicious blogger, I'm not sure what the problem is. It has now been a year. Yes, exactly, Tony. Yours was reported too, but quickly moved on. Yours had to quickly move on because, Tony, it met the criteria. It's very, very specific. I think Julie got excited. And it's fine, Julie. It's good. Because the worst they'll do is change the heading. Because the content of your FOI is actually valid. It has now been a year since Oldham Council admitted to the data breach by the Lib Dem leader of the opposition, Howard Sykes. Can the council please provide the number of data breaches reported to OMBC between the 1st of January to the 31st of December 2022? Completely legitimate FOI request that, Julie. We want to know the number of data breaches that OMBC have had reported to them in the calendar year, 1st of January to 31st of December 2022. They won't be able to refuse that. Will you, borough solicitor? You can try, but you know what we're going to do. The number of data breaches confirmed to have taken place by OMBC between... Interesting. So the number of data breaches reported is our first question. And then number 2 is the number of data breaches they've admitted to. Do you see the subtlety of the difference there? So how many data breaches were reported to, and how many of these data breaches did you confirm to have took place? How many do you admit to? And the third one is, how many of these data breaches did you pass on to the Information Commissioner's Office? And then, in terms of the data breaches, in what sort of data breaches were there? Were they accessed by an unauthorized third party? Or were they alteration to personal data without permission, and so on? These are the actual criteria, it seems, off the Information Commissioner's Office's page. So there's 4 pages, and the last one, I think, just to give them a slap. Can the council also confirm the number of council staff and their officers that have faced disciplinary action as a consequence of these data breaches? So if you've admitted to 5, if you've admitted to 10, how many council officers got in trouble for it? That's a lovely data. That's a lovely Freedom of Information. Sorry, I only opened it because it'd been reported for administrator attention, because the title was Councillors Passing on Names and Addresses to Convicted Malicious Bloggers. Willa booby! What official response has there been to Councillor Howard Sykes referring himself to the IOC after he admitted he leaked a resident's personal information to reporter Neil Wilby from David Nestor. Very focused, that David. Excellent freedom of information request. What official response has there been to Councillor Howard Sykes referring himself? That's a really, really good question. Data breach by Oldham Councillor Howard Sykes reported to administrator attention. What for? Let me have a look. I've not seen this one. Let me have a look. So this is Sheila. Sheila's put one up. Dear Oldham Metropolitan Borough Council, please update me of a breach made to a member of the public by Liberal Democrat leader Howard Sykes to a Yorkshire malicious blogger Neil Wilby. He had to pay £78,000 in compensation to an innocent policeman, and who has also been banned from contacting the independent police commissioners after tormenting them online. Has Councillor... So before... And clearly this video will now get taken down because Howard Sykes, Neil Wilby will go running complaining. But that's by the by. It's a matter of fact. It was reported. It's in the public domain that Neil Wilby had to pay £78,000 and in compensation to an innocent man. And I'll bring it up. Just give me a second. If you type in malicious blogger, Neil Wilby. And how much was it? £78,000 maybe? Type in 78,000 to give the search some help. Here we go. Examiner Live. Malicious blogger. Accept that. Malicious blogger Neil Wilby banned from contacting independent police complaints commissioner investigators after tormenting them online. There he is. A judge has come to the aid of three independent police complaints commissioners' investigation who suffered utterly oppressive personal abuse on the internet. Here he is. Now, the question for me is, why was Howard Sykes even forwarding information to a man that has been reported to have harassed. Is there? One investigator was painted as a broomstick riding witch by the web campaigner. Now, is that not? What's the word? They use it all the time. Sorry, my mind's gone. It's not sexism. I mean one more. Is that, what's the word? I'm sure Tony will come up with a word for me, or someone will come up with a word with me. It's an Arooj Shah favourite. It's sexism, isn't it? Another claimed vindictive efforts to blacken his name has led to a credible bomb threat against him, his wife and his family. As a consequence of Neil Wilby's actions, there's been a credible bomb threat against their family. Judge Richard Parks, QC, described the abuse suffered by Rebecca Reid, Catherine Lawcock and Anthony Coulson as nothing short of torment. What is Arooj Shah, Jim McMahon MP, Councillor Ross Birch, who I've got a special surprise for in the days and weeks to come, and Amanda Chadderton even. What are they doing associating with such a man? Wilby was accused of being the ringleader, and the judge agreed. Misogyny. Thank you, Ronnie. Misogyny. That's the word I want. Misogyny. Is that not misogynistic? No, David. Let me explain. Wilby, as a journalist, remember, has got a route through which he can access information from the council. That is not to contact the leader of the opposition, nor is it for the leader of the opposition, Howard Sykes, to send Wilby information directly. That's why the council have a communications team. And remember, Howard Sykes has admitted to forwarding the home address of a member of the public. So that's Neil Wilby number one. Let's see, malicious blogger Neil Wilby banned from contacting independent police commission after tormenting them online. Banned. The misogynist. Yes, Jack. The misogynist Neil Wilby. Banned. And our town's politicians openly engage with this misogynist, malicious blogger, as confirmed here. Look, Yorkshire Live, it's not me. It's not me. Here's another one from a law project. Caruthers Law, it's an index. Police officer awarded 60,000 libel damages. Sergeant Matthew Appleyard, the claimant. And where is it? Neil Willaboobies. Here he is. Do you see his name? A libel claim in the High Court against Neil Willabooby. Indeed, Oldham, an accuser of little credibility, Neil Willabooby, who is now the attack dog for the Labour Party in Oldham. This discredited individual, not just the attack dog for the Labour Party in Oldham, but the partner in crime for Howard Sykes and the Liberal Democrats. Come on, Halamdani! Sam Halamdani! What do you have to say to your leader? How about you, Kenyan? Are you too busy with your hairspray? How dare you? Elected and paid for by the council taxpayers of this town. How dare you openly endorse and support, encourage and facilitate this man's abuse and torment of members of the public in our town, whose only crime has been to object and speak out against the cover-up of the grooming and gang rape of Oldham's children. That's all any of us have done. And here is a malicious blogger, a proven liar. I'd say a has-been, but he's a never-been. The never-been, aligned with Pakistani mobsters, corrupt council officials, desperate for attention, and yet Howard Sykes, the Oldham Council leader, Howard Sykes. Sorry, in the world I come from, this is the equivalent of the home address of an anti-racist campaigner being sent on to a far-right organisation. This is the equivalent of a gay Muslim having his name, address, details shared with some Islamist jihadist network by a councillor. Because the councillor knew full well what he was doing, and every councillor that continues to engage with Neil Willaboobies, and this includes James Ignatius Arooj McMahon, the proven Pakistani rape gang enabler. Yes, This is desperation. This is absolute desperation. And indeed, Oldham, him and Ross Birch are also buddies. Wait until you see what I've got for Ross Birch. Yes, we can, Tony. He's not a nice man, is he, Tony? He's not a nice man at all. I've been in. You've seen them, ain't you, Tony? You and I have seen them. We're of an age where we've seen them sat lonely in a pub on their own. No one near them. Laughing at their own jokes. Peering around. Yeah. Sad, lonely old men. Desperate to be relevant. So much so. I mean, his obsession with me, repeatedly, is that I'm not from Oldham. I mean, that's outright racism, isn't it? Keeps going on. I was born in Bradford. Like a man, a woman, like if anyone has any choice of where they are born. No one has any choice of where they are born, but I know where I was raised, and I know where I've spent most of my life, and I know what I consider to be my own people. Outrageous. Outrageous behaviour. It will happen, Liam. The day the relationship between Greater Manchester Police and Labour will get exposed in the national media will happen. It's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. So, I am going to put out a link to this evening's transmission. It's an interview with prospective candidate in Shaw, party leader of this Shaw and Crompton Independents, Mr. Markins. Bravely contacted me, wants to share what he's been up to, how his party has been developing. I'll put that link up in the next half an hour or so. Please share it. Hopefully we get more than 50. I don't take any excuses. You all follow the work. You all know to look on the Recusant Nine webpage, Facebook page. The reason to share it is that I need your help to reach more people. It's not complicated. I need your help to reach more people. So if you share it on your page and you've got 100 friends, potentially 100 friends sees you. And if they share it, then more see it, and more see it, and more see it. That's all it is. Because we are not in control of the newspapers. We are not in control of the council-funded website pages, Facebook groups. The only way in which we can get our voice heard is through the network we create on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, or whatever the channels. It's why they are desperately attempting to take my content off. I'm still here, by the way. I do. I need help. And if you won't help me, then I don't know what you're doing. Because you're not helping me, you're helping yourselves. And as for the councillors and would-be councillors and would-be politicians from the other opposition parties who tune in and who are all too scared to share, but want to use me as some sort of battering ram and are quite ambivalent to me being abused, harassed, arrested, intimidated, attacked, I have a question for you. If you are doing that now before you are councillors, or even if you are councillors but without power, what sort of people are you? What sort of people are you? Because fundamentally what we have here is the leader of the council, successive leaders of the council, successive Labour Party politicians, including the MP Jim McMahon, openly endorsing, promoting a discredited individual such as Neil Wilby. Yet here I am, and you won't. What have I done? stood up for you, stood up for the people of my town, fought for you, promoted you, and you won't support me. Why? You won't support me because you're scared. Because you know as well as I do and as well as everyone else listening here today, I'm not the racist. I've never been the racist. Yet you're too scared. And you want to lead this town. You want to be a councillor in this town. You want to have positions of power and authority in this town. But when it comes down to it, you're too scared to stand alongside the people of this town who are fighting for our children. And fighting for the future to save what is left of this town and try and rebuild it so it is a home for every one of us. Shame on you. Mark Ince, looking forward to him this evening. Please like, please share. Please share this transmission as much as possible because I'm sure it'll get taken down for a defamation complaint. Nothing defamatory in the United Kingdom in taking a newspaper article and reading it out aloud. Nothing defamatory in the United Kingdom in going onto a freedom of information site and reading the request submitted. There's nothing defamatory in this country of calling out corrupt politicians and councils and questioning their actions. Very good morning. Enjoy your morning. I'm off to my niece's birthday. She's 4 years old. So I think there'll be lots of jelly. So I will see you this evening, hopefully. I'll put the transmission up, the link up for the transmission for this evening with Mark Ince. Brave man. I know you're all looking forward to listen to what he has to say. I very much am, because without the Recusant Nine channel and the transmissions, none of the legitimate opposition in this town have any form of voice whatsoever. I'll see you all later, particularly you, near boobies.
Do not fear them. Do not fear any of them.